Okay, guys. Good afternoon to everyone. Those of you who just joined me online. This afternoon, I want to talk about something quite important, as I've always spoken about. We're in a big mess as a country, a very big mess. We're in a big mess as a nation. We're in a big mess as a nation. We're in a big mess. Let no one deceive you. We may not get it right in 2023. We may not get it right in 2023. Because we are failing already as a people. We are failing already as a people. The discussions we have leading to the 2023 elections are just irrelevant conversations. We are having irrelevant conversation and deceiving ourselves. Purely deceiving ourselves with the kind of conversations we have leading up to 2023 elections. And it's an unfortunate situation. I fear because 2023, we may not get it right. From the look of things, from the candidates that have been presented, from the House of Assembly down to House of Reps, Senate, the governorship candidates, down to the presidential candidates, we may not get it right. We may not get it right. We may not get it right. Everything, those who are shouting obedient, those who are shouting articulate, and those who are shouting asiwaju and all, we may not get it right. We may not get it right. That's just my fear. Because the conversations already, it's leading towards the wrong direction. As it stands right now, we are having the wrong conversation. We are having the wrong conversation. And some persons are talking about Muslim ticket, Muslim Christian ticket. My dear, a lot of times these things do not matter. These things really do not matter. If you ask me my opinion, these things do not matter. What matters is our ability to get who can deliver to us the dividends of democracy. Let me tell you something some of you have not even noticed and understood. It's the fact that right now we are doing our own internal wranglings. But do not forget, the West is watching. Amongst all the candidates that have been presented thus far, they would look at the candidates and look at a candidate that is pro-Western policies. And that is a candidate they will support. And when they support it, they will infiltrate our media. When they infiltrate our media, we all will start supporting them unconsciously. And these persons will come, carry out the agenda of the West. And we think we voted in this person. We did not vote in this person. It is the Western world that determined for us who becomes our leader. And over the years, this has been happening without Nigerians, without Africans noticing what exactly is happening. The reason why most of your preferred candidates may not win, it's not because they are not good. It's not because Nigerians will not vote for them. It is because they may not protect the Western agenda in Nigeria. Nigeria is too important to the West. It's too important to the West to be left unattended to, that they will not have interest in the elections. Don't forget, China is also one corner watching what is happening in Nigeria. China is also one corner watching what is happening here. And we're not having. Everybody is quiet about it. People are here shouting, obedience is shouting this, and all that. It goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. Because whoever will elect as leaders will fall back to the Westerners for policies. More than 80% of the policies we actually carry out in this country are not homegrown, are not Nigerian driven. They are all Western policies that are given to our leaders to be carried out here. And most of them come in form of treaties. And we think we are actually enacting policies. How many policies have been enacted, or how many policy statements have been brought up by our government that are actually pro-Nigeria or pro-African standard? They are all Western policies. We are forgetting this conversation, the conversation of the West, the role of the West in our elections. You think they don't play any role? They do. If you don't know, they do. Go and read about it. You think Jonathan left in 2015 just like that? No. There was a Western influence. A pure Western influence. And the West is alive and well. They are watching what is happening in Nigeria. They are also interested in Nigeria because they have their investments in Nigeria. They have their investments in Nigeria. And whatever, remember, Nigeria is considered to be a giant of Africa. Nigeria is not considered to be giant of Africa for the mere saying of it. It is because of its role in Africa. So a president that is not pro-West, will definitely be fought against. So we must be conscious about these things. We certainly must be conscious about it. That even if we're looking at a president within our own rank, we must also be careful that we are not doing the bidding of the West. We're not doing the bidding of the West. Relax. When the period starts, when the elections, the campaigns properly starts, you see your presidential aspirants running down to UK, to number 10 Downing Street. You see those who will be going to Washington, all to get international endorsement because they have a role to play. Your media is not controlled by you. Your media is not controlled by, they control your media. They drive the narrative they want to drive. Very soon they will come and start playing their games. And when they start, they will only push their own interests because they don't have you at heart. They don't have Nigerians at heart. So it goes beyond these conversations. We are having the wrong conversation leading up to the 2023 elections. Forget about the tribe. They are not interested about the tribe. They're not even interested about religion. They're interested about a pro-Western agenda and who will push it for them. So it's important that we step up. It's important that we start asking the right question and shield ourselves off the West and get a president that will be pro-Nigeria, that will be pro-Africa, that will speak our minds, that will give us what we want. It's not about an Hausa man or a Yoruba man, but a man who would actually look at the economy of Nigeria, who would actually look at the Nigerian situation and come up with policies that are Nigerian-driven and not Western-driven. The West is watching. Let's not write them off. They are watching. And very soon, close to the elections, you will see them playing out their games. Endorsing their own candidates through the media. The media war will soon start. Let's not underrate their influence in our politics. Let's not underrate Western influence in our politics. And that should be the conversation we should be having. We should shield our elections from Western infiltrations. Because it's going to happen. The West has continually influenced who becomes the leader or the president of this country. And they are comfortable. They're not interested in the development of Nigeria or Africa. They're not. They will infiltrate our elections. They will infiltrate our media. And Nigerians at the end of the day will feel they voted the person. You did not vote anybody. You didn't vote anybody. Now this was the same thing Russia saw. They have played over time. And of course, we all know the allegations with respect to Russia infiltration in the US elections that brought in Donald Trump. This is how the US has always infiltrated in our own elections. So it is very important that we start having these conversations. It is very important that we start talking about Western influence in our politics. It is very important. It's not enough to shout Obi. It's not enough to shout Asiwaju. Will they lead as Nigerian presidents? I have seen enough, I have read enough about this nation and about this infiltration to tell you that most times I even find it difficult blaming some of our presidents or our leaders. But the truth is this: these guys are hand-twisted most of the times. These guys are hand-twisted most of the time because they want to get loans, and sometimes they even make juicy offers. So they abandon the Nigerian project. And they focus on Western policies. That is why we are losing our culture completely. And they tell you that they've gone into a bilateral relationship with China so that our schools can be teaching Mandarin or Chinese as it were. And nobody's bothered about it. We go into a bilateral relationship with France that French should be taught in some schools. And nobody's bothered about it. These are Western infiltration into our system. And we think it's normal. There's nothing normal about it. There's nothing normal about it. We should be bothered. We should be concerned about it. We should be concerned about it. Yes, we love their development. We want to replicate it back here. But we should replicate their development using homegrown generated policies and African generated policies, not foreign policies in our own nation. What works in the US cannot work in Nigeria. What works in Japan cannot work here. We're a peculiar nation. What works, we're a traditional country, and we must also always respect that tradition. And we're also a religious country. They are not like us. We are very unique. They are not like us. And because they are not like us, we must move for policies that are Nigerian driven. We must move policies that are Nigerian driven, that are homegrown. We are forgetting about that conversation. And everybody's crying about tribe. Let me tell you, even if you have somebody from your tribe, even if you have your kinsman or even your village man as president of our nation, the moment the West wants a thing against the entirety of this country, they will get it. Because they will be, these leaders will be hand twisted to do their bidding. We have seen it happen several times. So we must look out for Western infiltration in our elections. We must look out for Western infiltration. They've already started. And our people, we really do not have leaders who can stand and face the Western world. We really do not have leaders who can stand and face them. They're infiltrating our system. We are losing our culture. We are losing our values, not because we don't know what is happening. It is because we have allowed Western culture to infiltrate into our system. The West is taking over our country. They are westernizing us, westernizing our values. Don't you ask yourself a question? Look at China. In all the development happening in China, in everything, technological advancement in China, China has not lost its value. Its cultural value are still intact. Japan, you have the same thing. Even in the UK, they still hold their own cultural values, but they want Africans to let go of their cultural values and accept theirs. And they bring in their policies, they bring in their way of life and want to force them on. Remember, we are battling between three cultures right now in our nation. We are battling between the French culture, we are battling with the English culture, and we're also battling with the Chinese culture. All trying to get hold of our nation and make us to be like them. They have been making us lose who we are. Please, my brothers and sisters, as we think about the 2023 elections, beyond who or where the president comes from, we should have the conversation of Western infiltration in our policies, in our leadership, and in our nation. It is very important. It is as important as the elections. It is as important as the elections. Because if you like it, we should vote the Pope to become president of Nigeria. With the influence of the West, I promise you, we will not get the needed development. We will not get the needed development. The problem, the West has a way of crippling and tying us down to their whims and caprices. They have a way of doing that because we always want to go for loans. We always want to get grants from them and all that. And they tell you they want to elevate Africans from poverty. And I ask a question: are there no poor people in the West? In the overseas, are there no poor people? Why are they interested in Africa? And they tell you they're doing charity works in Africa. Why don't they do that in the US? I don't know poor people in the US. I don't know poor people in the UK. There are poor people there, but they forget about their people and they say they're coming down to Africa. Why? Because they're interested in what we have. Why are they so interested in Africa? Why are they so interested in us? There's something we have that they don't have. That is why for me, I don't envy them. I don't envy them. And it's important we start having these conversations beyond the elections. Start having these conversations and look at what is before us. Because if we don't, we'll be done. If we don't get these things sorted out, we'll be done as a people. So I want to encourage us as much as possible. Let us look out for ourselves as a people. Look out for our nation and look out for foreign infiltration into our system. God bless you. But before I go, thank you for joining me and God bless you.